once again, my friends, and live from Retro Central. My name is Peter, and before I shoot this week's video, that's going to be coming up in a little while, I wanted to candidly say a few words and post it to my channel. I want to talk about appreciating content, video, written, whatever it is that you really enjoy. Why am I talking about this now? Well, we've seen a couple of prominent either hiatuses or closures in the last week to 10 days. GameTrailers, for example, a website that had been around for a long time, just announced earlier this week that they are no more. They have shut down completely. They weathered all kinds of cutbacks and administrative changes and other things, but now they're no longer with us. For me, personally, the announcement of the GameSack team taking a hiatus struck me pretty hard. And it struck me hard because I took for granted the fact that these guys were just pumping out quality content week after week. Even though I'm just a little shrimp of a YouTube guy, I am understanding of the fact that it does take work every week to sit down, to put videos together. Just me sitting here and talking to everybody, coming up with a topic that I want to talk about at that time, sitting down, getting it on camera, waiting for it to upload, editing it, putting in a description, and then telling everybody about it. Even something as simple as my operation, which is very simple, still takes about 2 hours of time every week to do, and that's at the very core. Now, what Joe and Dave and their team did between putting scripts together and laying down vocal recordings and getting game footage together and doing the actual filming and then the editing process, and doing that every week, all that despite having their own personal lives with families and careers, something that we don't always stop to think about. And I am guilty of not thinking about that enough. I thought that Joe and Dave would be around for a long time without a break. I thought that they were doing a great job. So it took me by surprise a little bit that that Joe had mentioned that viewership had been down, subs had been down, and they needed to kind of take a step back, take a break, recharge their batteries. And content creators need to do that, whether they're video or written, whether they're professional or doing it just for fun. Every so often you do need to step away, or there are times when real life just kind of gets in the way and you need to put your creativity on the back burner. So I think it's important, as I put on the board as a thank you, to thank your favorite content creators. I know it sounds silly. I know some of you probably might believe that they owe it to you or they owe it to themselves in order to keep advertising revenue or Patreon revenue or whatever coming in. But in my humble opinion, I really do think that it is a good idea for us to appreciate the content that we enjoy while we can enjoy it, and give that extra fuel, that extra motivation to content creators. You may not think it's a big deal to send a 3 or 4 line comment or to drop a quick note on social media or whatever it is. But I'll tell you out of experience that when you take the time to do that, content creators really do appreciate that. And more often than not, it serves as motivation for them to continue to do what they do despite whatever challenges may come up. Knowing that I've got this 40-hour-a-week job, or I'm taking a full-time load of classes, or I have a family to care for, or there are other things in my life that I want to do, you find room for that creativity if you know that there's an audience for it, if you know that there is that there are both intrinsic and extrinsic payoffs to doing that kind of creativity. For myself, it's more about knowing that there are just even 1 or 2 people that would check out what it is that I do. The fact that I have as many subscribers as I do on this channel is still just humbling. I think I'm over 250 at this point. For me, that's a big deal for somebody who is not at all professional and who does this in his spare time and only devotes a couple of hours a week to it. So that's a big deal to me, because I know that there are 2, 3, 4 people that constantly leave comments on videos, or who talk to me on social media, or who share links to my work that makes it worthwhile. I know that there are people that enjoy what I do. And if more of us make that concerted effort to tell our favorite content creators that we appreciate what they do, you might be surprised with the result. I've talked on camera before about some of my influences, whether it's the Gaming Historian, whether it's the Game Chasers, whether it's the entire team at RetroWare, who to this day continues to drive me to keep creating, even though I've got a bunch of other things on my plate right now. GameSack, who I talked about, Cygnus Destroyer, LJN Defender, Matt, I love you, buddy. Matt has been doing videos for a while now and is trying to get his stride and works very hard at what he does. And I hope he continues for a long time. I try and watch when I can, and he does a fantastic job. Pat the NES Punk, who's been branching out into so many different areas with his expertise, with the Completely Unnecessary podcast, with his Pat the NES Punk episodes, with Flea Market Madness, which continues to be a personal inspiration for me to look for deals whenever I can. To Ask Frank, to his new book, which is going to be coming. I mean, he's got so many irons in the fire. The guy is driven, he's motivated, he's passionate. And the thing that I think I resonate with most when it comes to Pat is just his drive and his motivation. He is an exceptionally driven individual. Some people may think a little too much so, but for myself, it's motivational for me. When I think about giving up, or when I think that, hey, I should take a week off or whatever, more often than not, I look to what Pat does, pumping out new content, something new almost every day. That's a pretty big deal. So to all of these people, to any of you who I've mentioned or who I haven't mentioned, because I'm trying to keep this video under a half hour, who creates content, whether it's video or written, anything that I've enjoyed, please know that I appreciate it. And more so, if I make the time to leave a comment on your work, even if it is a long book, because I am a writer by nature, so I tend to be wordy. I really do appreciate what you guys do, not just for the inspiration and the motivation you give me, but for the hours and hours of entertainment that you provide. So to all of you, thank you very much. And to the rest of you who watch videos just like I do, or who read articles just like I do, I challenge you, I encourage you to take just a few minutes of time out of your busy schedules, and rather than posting something negative, if it seems to be appropriate or whatever, refrain from that and maybe turn it around. And if you see something really good that really strikes you as positive, as excellent, well done, take a few minutes and leave a positive comment for that content creator. See if you can do that. And I think all of us together can make for a much better place, both in the written and video content arenas. Thanks as always for watching, and this week's consolation episode will be along very shortly. Take care.